Okay, it's February 21st, 2023. This is Heather's second video, which I have not seen yet. Um, and yeah, we're gonna just raw dog Heather.
And yeah, thanks for like watching the videos and stuff. We've got stuff to figure out doing this, but we're having a good time, so let's do it. You're not ready.
All right.
You ain't ready. Okay. By the way, do we know where she is? Have you done any like forensic?
She flipped her camera around and there's a Te Amo. And I looked in Chicago. There's like a Te Amo in North Michigan. And she likes to hang out in that area, so it's probably that one down there.
Interesting. Okay.
What's going on, guys? Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
I think it's the mall.
So I just posted a live to my...
Sorry, I think it's the mall where the Nordstrom is.
Oh yeah, the North Bridge.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. By the way, she has a ring on and earrings.
They both do.
She has, okay. I haven't noticed the rings before, but she has like, little earrings. Like she's stealing this stuff. She's gotta be.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
she's
alleging.
not buying it.
No.
entertainment show, GoPro solo production page. Check it out. I'll link it here on this live. If you guys are not already following the page, GoPro Solo ENT. That's the production company I've been developing since 2015.
She is amped, right? Like we talked about on the other video we reacted to. She's just very like, I mean, but she also, she could be manic. I mean, I have a lot of energy. I kind of like, but she just seems very like, okay.
She's not a person who agitates a lot, and she seems very agitated.
She does, yeah. Agitation. Yeah.
Go ahead and check that out. On this page, though, in my circle of goals that I've created since I started being, really, really treated poorly in 2019, 2 weeks prior to Dylan's release, inmate number Y12173, IDOC Dylan Smith.
Yeah, I mean, that's ID. She's like, data, here is all the information I'm presenting. I mean, it's weird.
It's so weird that she's so hooked on Dylan. And it's weird that we don't hear anything from before that part of her life. I mean,
that's true.
There is a sea change there where, I mean, I don't know.
That's true.
She's another person, I assume.
Yeah, and like the pictures that we can totally review of her before. I mean, she was pretty thick, right? Like she looked
she's pretty
different.
Normal looking.
Yeah, she looked great. I mean, she looked like a person who, had a life and stuff. And then the Dylan thing, I mean,
that's what got us here.
That's what got us here. Exactly.
2 weeks prior to him coming home, I was jumped and stabbed by 3 women 11 times with screwdrivers. Since that time, the abuse has continued. I get a couple of weeks or maybe a month in between, but for the most part, I've been being robbed. So either I go to sleep and someone comes into my space, whether it's an Airbnb or wherever I am, they take something, whether it's makeup or clothing or money or food or whatever. It's been happening regularly since 2019.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, this is what we're here for.
That just doesn't happen, right?
It doesn't. It doesn't happen.
Like, I'm sure she's been stolen from in the past, but like, she remembers someone stole her eggs at her apartment. She had like hard-boiled eggs.
And her vacuum.
And her vacuum.
Oh my God, the stolen vacuum.
I mean, she gets high and then forgets that she does stuff, I think.
I think so, yeah.
And that's all it is.
Well,
but she latches on to, this as reality. She just won't. And I don't know that she believes it. I mean, we talked about that, but it's just.
Well, these things will come up again.
But the point I was trying to make is that none of this is true. Like, nobody's stealing her shit. Nobody gives a shit about her and her stuff.
Right. Like, except it is true that she is homeless. She's home free right now.
Oh, yeah.
She's unhomed, right? And
She's living outside or sleeping outside.
Yeah. She is not. So her stuff probably is getting stolen now.
Yeah,
because
she complained about her box thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Getting stolen, but she fucking left it on the street. Like, what do you expect? I mean...
And she does lie. Remember, like, Heather lies. That's rule number 1. So, if she gets thrown out of an Airbnb or if they go and they buy stuff allegedly, steal stuff, and then they can't put it. She had a video where she was like, we have to get all of this stuff into 2 bags.
Oh, I know. That was
and
crazy.
So she surely left a bunch of that stuff.
Yeah, where'd her wagon go? They were walking across the states with a wagon.
Oh my God.
I guess maybe it didn't fit on the Greyhound or whatever, however they got home. I mean, I don't know.
We have to review. We have to do a whole...
We got to figure that out. Yeah,
We have to do a whole Walking Across America arc.
Oh, yeah.
That whole arc needs to be its own,
for sure.
sub-series.
It's a chapter that needs to be covered.
So incredible. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So the whole 2019 thing, I mean, that's, like, definitely parsable. But, like, in terms of people stealing from her and I mean, the stabbing with the screwdrivers, I thought, what about the tire iron? Or no, she's told the story before about the women, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's continue and see what happens.
I still, to this day, am not in my own home with my children, as I've been my entire life, from the birth of my 3 children through current present day.
No,
not to present day.
No.
You have not been with them for your entire life.
I mean, wasn't it 2017 or something?
The divorce and the kids and all that stuff. Yeah.
She says it's 2019, but somebody posted somewhere that it was actually 2017 when she first had some.
Yeah, and she claimed she got full-time custody of her kids on a part-time basis 3 days a week or something.
No.
It's that's not full custody. Sorry.
No, it's not at all. I mean.
But yeah, it's been a while.
So that's a lie. Like boom. We should have a sound effect that's
yeah, for
that,
sure.
That's a lie. She's not telling the truth.
This whole thing would be that sound effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Be
And I still have not been provided a court date, nor responded to by law enforcement regarding any of the rapes, thefts, abuses taken against me. So there's extensive documentation, medical records, etc., and so forth to prove each and everything that I've said is the truth. My car was destroyed, my home was destroyed, and I've just been kind of throwing myself into...
So when she said her car was destroyed,
right.
I think she drove it to Atlanta or something. She had a DoorDash job in Chicago, and I don't remember why she went to Atlanta, but she drove down there, and I think she was driving back or something, and I think it just broke down. And she said her home was destroyed, and we got to go back into the archives at some point.
There was a flood.
Yeah, there was a flood. I think this is around the time she got kicked out or whatever, or right after that. I mean, there was a home where there was a flood of some kind. If anybody's watching this and has the details on that, put it in the comments or a link to the video. I have photos, I think, from it, but I forget when. So some of that is real.
Yeah. And she talks about people coming in and out of the house and being, and that's possible too, for
but
sure.
Her car wasn't destroyed. I mean, my point is the home being flooded, home being destroyed, okay, maybe.
Right.
But we're mixing reality with not reality.
Yeah.
Here, because her car was not destroyed. She fucked her car up. She just drove it into the dirt, I think.
And so. is this a car she's had since we've been following her since the show?
Yeah, I think it was the Cadillac or something.
Yeah.
And
was that the one where the duster cans were in the seat?
No, that was the one she had from Eric.
From
or whatever.
Eric, yeah.
So, but it was the same model of car, I think.
Interesting.
Maybe I forget.
And here's one of the things, the way she talks about her life, she talks about her life I guess a liar would, where it's vague. It's they destroyed my car, they took my home. It's well,
and they mix facts in. That's the thing, is if you want to lie effectively, you start with some facts, and then you sprinkle some lies.
Yeah. Oh, is that how you lie? You tell me how you lie. Yeah. But what she does is I mean, she's a grown person. I don't have a car right now, but I've had cars. So it's well, which car? They destroyed my home, they destroyed my car. She doesn't have if something traumatic happened to me and my car was stolen or destroyed, I'd be yeah, it was really messed up. I had this car, I loved it, I had it for 6 years. It was a Mazda whatever, and it was I mean, liars don't have details like that.
Yeah,
or
and again,
whatever. I don't know.
She doesn't care about the details.
No.
She's just trying to shirk responsibility.
That's right.
It's not her fault. It's a thing that is happening to her.
Yeah.
And they are responsible.
And they are responsible.
So, yeah,
of course.
Surviving. So if you've been along here watching for, longer than just since 2019, you guys know that I have 3 beautiful children who I love more than life itself. Viviana, 16, my daughter. Louis, my son, 14. And my youngest child, Alexis, 9 years old.
I hate that. She uses
she
her
doxes
children.
them?
Well, she doxes them, but also, I love them more than life itself.
I love them more than anything.
Bitch, get a job.
Yeah.
Like, this is where my anger comes out. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you do not love them more than anything in life itself. If you would go and you would work at McDonald's because you can get a job there now.
Yeah.
I mean, and McDonald's is an example. I mean, you could get a job in that mall. She could get a job.
Stay in a shelter for a little while if you need to. I mean...
Oh my God, I cannot.
She has too much pride. She's too, vain to do it. But, yeah.
Unbelievable.
From birth through November 24th, 2019, all 3 of my children lived with me primarily. I was the primary parent, custodial parent, in a joint custody situation. And that was decided by a court date. I won primary joint custody.
That's like fully verifiable or not, right? Like, is that public record?
There are records, like divorce records and stuff.
Okay.
I mean, there's not like a record of like when she moved out. I don't think.
Right.
Since November 24th, 2019, shortly after Dylan's release and the abuse began, a man attempted to break into our apartment at 2037 West Roscoe, and the police were called, and they asked the kids' fathers to come get them, and they have not allowed me to have the opportunity to reside with them again since then. Every time I get an apartment, they break in.
See, that's crazy. They break in every time I get an apartment. Like, we're so used to hearing Heather's insane, like, ramblings that, like, we just take that for granted when she's like, this thing happened and they've been breaking in ever since. I mean, that's where, and I just know that, like,
maybe
if
something did happen.
Yeah, but that's where this question of, like, Heather's mental situation comes up again and again. And basically, like, if there's a theme to, like, if we make more than, like, whatever, how many reality shtick videos about her, like, it'll just keep coming back, is what is going on with her? Like, what is her mental state? Does she have borderline personality disorder? Is she borderline paranoid schizophrenic? Is she schizophrenic? But I mean, there's paranoia here.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. But then there's this mix.
Well, the drugs could be contributing to that.
Yeah. And she is on Adderall, like, all the time, right?
Sure, yeah.
Like that, because people in the Reddit thread that I hear about.
Yeah.
They're like this, like, some people have said, like, no, I was hooked on Adderall for a long time. Like, that's how I behaved. It made me insane. I've never taken it like that. But, like, people were like, I was completely paranoid and freaking out.
Yeah. Well, I've seen people on meth and other stuff that, they think there's like a cat in the closet and they want to, put the mattress over the closet to keep it from jumping out at them.
Boy.
And they're listening to the neighbors and, they just get super paranoid. Like,
yeah, I was listening back to our first stream to, like, check the sound. And I listened to the part where we were talking about whether she was smoking meth with Xavier in the tent or not. Xavier.
Yeah.
And you were like, it was a weed pipe. And I said something like, well, if the weed pipe's all you got, to smoke your meth, you're going to use that. And, like, how do I know that?
Yeah,
like, I don't, I'm not using pipes to smoke meth. Anyway. Okay. Where were we? I don't know. Her mental state. Whatever.
To show that it's not safe. I've gotten a house. They did the same thing. Xavier and I had a room that we were renting. They did the exact same thing. Kicked us out for no reason. Curated a big, huge issue. So it's been incredibly...
She did. She said curated an issue.
Big issue.
She meant curated.
Yeah.
But
it sounded like curated.
By the way, and I know we're stopping a lot, but there's just so much. I think she has notes. Because later, just look for it. I think she has made notes, and I think she just glanced at them. Just an observation. Okay.
Frustrating, heartbreaking, honestly. But in the meantime, I made a list of things that I wanted to work on or that I wanted to discuss. Because my life is, not where I want it to be. And I want other people to get involved and assist me in reaching these goals and receiving the justice that is, deserved in this situation. Then I just feel like I need to continue to develop in all areas and understand things that affect the same people that I'm asking for help. So if I'm asking you to help me understand and fix what's going on with me, but I don't have any investment of time or energy into the things that cause others issues, that's not an even balance. So
Do you have any idea what she just said?
I don't really understand what she's talking about.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know who's been watching since we were at Montclair when I was doing book club.
Montclair is
The efficiency apartment, the Montclair efficiency
the studio
apartment,
that
the
she was
studio
at a year
that
ago.
she
A year ago,
destroyed.
like right now.
Was it?
Yeah. Well, she moved in January, I think,
Did she really?
and then she got kicked out in April.
Oh, it was. Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't even right. Oh, we gotta post the things with the.
Yeah,
with,
of course.
Oh my
Of
God,
course.
there's so much. We're not gonna want to actually go to work.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Club, and I was doing it on the books, the 4 agreements. I'm gonna do another one on the untethered soul. I have so much, question about the things in that novel. I understand what Michael Singer is trying to say or saying, but I feel like there may also be hidden meaning. So I'm super excited to get a discussion group together for that.
Oh.
If you guys have not read the book,
She
The
is.
Untethered Soul, please do so.
Do you know what this is? The untethered soul.
I have no idea.
All right. Well,
We'll look it up.
we'll
Yeah.
look it up.
Singer.
Put it in the comments if you know.
Yeah, we can put a link in the description
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah, exactly. We'll put an affiliate link to the book.
Is the author, and then let's have a conversation about it. And I'll do another live. I'm not sure when it'll be. It's hard for me to schedule these things. I'll try to give you guys a heads up. But most of the time, if I make it
It's hard for her to schedule these things
Listen.
because she's super busy.
I know. Well, that's the
And-
thing. Yeah. Mhm.
What?
Sorry. No, I was just going to say, like I told you, I skimmed this. Like I was
Yeah.
working on something and it was in the background, which is why I didn't know she actually does have notes. Because later she's
Oh,
like
yeah,
looking
yeah,
down
yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
But no, this is interesting. I heard this part. Just listen.
announcement here that I'm going to go live, they don't allow me to. They block it. So I try to just do it spur of the moment. That's typically been the only way allows me to log in or go live rather. But one of the goals for perspectives that I've been
Well, I mean, a lot of times she posts stuff on Instagram and it doesn't post, and then later it posts or it posts twice. So I have a lurking suspicion she's often like not online when she thinks she's online.
Yeah. Oh
So
my God.
so the app just doesn't work.
Wow.
And I know that she got reported for a bunch of stuff.
Really? Why?
Previously, I don't know. She doxed her kids or something.
Yeah, breaking TOS
And-
for some reason.
Yeah, and I think enough people reported her that she got blocked from doing lives for a while on one of her accounts. I think it was on one Heather G or something, or HLG Forever. I forget. And so she does have issues going live, obviously.
Yeah.
But now she can, obviously. So that's
now.
good.
Yeah.
For now at least, until she, screws up and doxes somebody, pulls out a knife in the gym.
Oh yeah. Well, there was
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah.
There was that. Oh, look at that. Still, you can really see the tooth problem.
That tooth is hanging in there.
So why? So I know a little bit about YouTube TOS, and I know about like Twitch TOS. I don't know much about Instagram. It's going to be basically the same, but I
Yeah.
mean, you have to, as far as I know, you have to. It's nudity, violence, the knife thing. 1,000%
Sure.
got her kicked out. But I mean, it's.
Probably libel threats. I mean, there's different laws in different countries, and these places operate, all over the
It's
world.
true,
So they
but
have,
I mean-
but they have their own
Yeah.
rules, right? So
You follow her closely, and we do. But
Yeah.
you make sure to like capture the stuff because we wanted to do this,
Yeah.
right? Do a reaction channel, but I feel like we would know if she really fucked up with like nudity or
no,
like
I think
sex.
if just enough people report you. I mean, people troll her.
That's true.
I mean, she is getting phone calls and people are harassing her, and like,
Yes, I'm sure.
I believe that.
I
'Cause
do
people,
too.
she's on the internet and she's doxed herself
My
to high heaven.
God. And other people just like right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So,
Amazing. But that's
yeah.
interesting. She's like, I can't go live, so I do it spur of the moment. It's like, no, you go live when you're allowed to go live, or you have a Wi-Fi connection, and like,
Yeah. I mean, they're sitting in one spot, probably on a cold day, trying to stay warm. They need a reason to be there. So
right.
this is her reason, probably.
challenging from the norm of what we were taught. And in honor of Black History Month, it's
God.
the month is February in America. I don't know about the rest.
It's also February 21st. She's been celebrating Black History Month for 0 days.
You got a week, Heather. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Rest of the world, forgive me for my ignorance, but in America we celebrate National Black History Month in the month of February. So we're in February now.
You have no idea.
Very
I
good
have
effort, yeah.
this tattoo on my wrist that says
God.
Still I Rise. Maya Angelou is a civil rights activist, a black civil rights activist.
Wow.
Who wrote a poem called Still I Rise. I posted it a couple weeks ago or maybe last week. Check it out if you guys have time. Also, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, Maya Angelou.
Okay.
But I was writing something down.
I just want to point out that Maya Angelou has passed.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she was absolutely she was in the movement, and she was definitely active in the cause, but she first and foremost is a poet.
Yeah.
And an author.
Yeah.
Right. So to say that she is a civil rights activist, I think that, yeah.
Yeah.
I was incredibly confused because I'm always thinking like, okay, it's Black History Month, but I'm dealing with the most. You know, my life is in
Oh, really?
chaos. I miss my children.
Oh, Heather, it's Black History Month, but I have problems.
I can't pause to think about anybody.
I'm, crying a
Listen,
lot.
I just want to say, like, I know we're pausing a lot. We're getting our rhythm down, whatever. But the truth is that we've just been bursting at the seams to talk about this. Also, you need to know that, like, this is intense. The shit that she says in here.
Yeah, she's just getting started.
I want to give you the space bar. Like, I just feel like I should let you drive.
All right.
I'm trying to understand what the fuck is going on. My jobs are being sabotaged. I'm being, abused physically, sexually, all this stuff. But I can't seem to find a way out. And education, learning, understanding various perspectives has only worked to assist me in finding the way up. So every time I put my own issues to the side and distract myself with knowledge, they say knowledge is power. So Black history is just one of many lists of things that I have been working on in...
This is some galaxy brain. I mean, she went from Black history to talking about how she has problems, and then I think she was saying, like, she likes to read to escape. To
distract herself.
And then now we're back to Black history.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By the way, this galaxy brain, I've never heard this term. I love it.
Yeah, when you're just like, all over the place, just like shotgunning, like taking ideas down, randomly.
These past 4 years. And I wrote this little narrative that I want to discuss with you guys, and I feel like it would be a pivotal move and very intelligent for our country, our youth, and the generations to follow. I think that out of all the Black history that exists, the most important part to understand is...
See, she's looking at her notes. I saw it before, and I was like, oh, okay, so she's really... Yeah.
And I'll explain why I think this as well. I never knew this, and I know grown men with careers making six figures who don't know this.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't know any grown men with six figures.
No.
Sorry.
She doesn't.
I mean, she might have sucked some of their dicks.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I promise you, it's not that they maybe couldn't figure it out logically. They have just never given their mind the time. They've never invested the energy or time into finding out. Okay, and I swear to God, you could think of...
She did her own research.
I was just going to say that. Damn it. I was going to say, Eric, you got to do...
joke. So I'm going to talk about it, and then I'll defend it. When we're talking about the family system, and how it affects, how it is affected, or how it has affected, or how it's been affected in specific areas of America that are affected by poverty, violence, etc., and so forth. And we all know, if you don't know, I'm about to tell you, a lot of African American people are subjected to those conditions because they started after the rest of us, generationally speaking.
God.
Right?
I mean,
if someone's being held as a slave, how much of their time and energy can be spent investing in themselves?
Oh, God,
how much of their time
Heather.
and energy can be spent saving money? How much of their time and energy can be spent developing skill sets, learning hobbies?
Wait, is she saying, like, Black people are developmentally disabled because they were slaves?
Yes, she is saying.
Okay.
I told you. It gets, I mean, it's...
That's crazy. Okay.
Here's the thing. She is the homeless Karen.
Yeah.
Who... She's
like, I'm an ally. I understand you're disabled.
Oh my God. Just keep going. She says something about evolution.
Loving their family. Going to church.
Wait a minute.
Not much, right?
Oh, are you talking about people loving their families and going to church?
And so forth. And we all know, if you don't know, I'm about to tell you, a lot of African American people are subjected to those conditions because they started after the rest of us, generationally speaking, right? If someone's being held as a slave, how much of their time and energy can be spent investing in themselves? How much of their time and energy can be spent saving money? How much of their time and energy can be spent developing skill sets?
Oh, God.
Learning hobbies? Loving their family?
Fuck you!
Going to church?
Fuck you.
Not much, right? So while the rest of us are developing and evolving, anyone being held as a slave, and since it's Black History Month, I'm referring, mostly, and the largest population, affected by this is African American people, Black America.
I mean,
you want to stop watching at this point.
You do, honestly.
Yeah,
Like, it's it's just...
You stopped evolving.
It's beyond the fucking pale,
the rest
man.
of us, we kept evolving.
Oh my
Okay.
God. I mean,
it's terrible. Let's get.
I've pulled my shirt up over my head.
Yeah, it's bad.
But there were also immigrants and poor white people.
Oh,
so it's
God.
It's a larger issue than race, but race, more Black Americans were affected than white Americans. More Black Americans were affected than immigrants. And they were held as slaves. So we know it happens to a lot of us. Immigrants can be affected, poor white people can be affected, but we know that it affected largely Black Americans historically, right? So you're released, the Emancipation Proclamation is signed, and all slaves are free.
Okay, I'm not defending or
Yeah.
explaining her, but what I think she did.
Yeah.
She's trying to talk about systemic racism, right?
Sure.
She's trying to talk about
But
levels
she's saying that it stopped their evolution.
Yes, she did say that. And she did say that...
But she is trying to talk about systemic
That's
racism.
what she's trying to do, but she can't.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, she cannot. You're not helping, Heather.
Supposedly, they're set free, right? What do you do when you're coming from an oppressive situation where you were never allowed to learn or make your own money, and you're set free now? How do you earn an income? How do you teach your children? Where do you live? What do you do? So these are all problems that America didn't have solutions for. And the Black America, anyone, and listen to me, when I say poor white people, immigrants, you're Black America for the sake of this reference.
Oh, no. I didn't hear that
before. Poor white people
before.
are Black America.
I didn't hear that before.
It's like some Kanye West type stuff. Like, poor white people are Black America is what she just said. And immigrants. So basically everyone.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Like this one reaction channel that I listened to, this like crazy reaction thing. I mean, sometimes the person that I listen to people react to is so hateful and awful that they're just like, I don't know if I can do it. I mean, it's just... But here, so we're reacting to her. The content is horrifying, right? But Heather, let's keep the focus on this person, right?
Yeah.
Like what is this person doing? And what's interesting, like I remember you told me, like, the flat earthers out there, like you had this interesting perspective. You were like, these people are actually really curious. Like they're very. Again,
they want to understand.
They want to understand and they want to challenge like what they know. That is not what we're dealing with here. But Heather is like, she is creative. She is very creative. She's like making photo shoots and she's homeless. Like there's a lot of problems with that, but she is trying to create something. And here she's passionate. Again, I'm trying to analyze this human creature, right? That we're just like, what the hell? But like she wants to... She clearly like wants to teach. She was like talking to the children in the last video. And it's just interesting. It's so badly executed and it's so terribly, it's not good. But she's got this like, let me preach to you,
Well, it's interesting. I think it's, this is fascinating because she's not just regurgitating what someone else told her. Mm-hmm. Like
she'd be better if she did.
She'd be better off. Yeah. And so she is like thinking for herself kind of. So it's like original thought.
Right.
But it's not critical thought.
She's not an
she hasn't
intellectual.
thought about her thoughts and what they mean. She hasn't put them in context in any way at all. And understood just how terrible they are.
It's very bad.
You are just as enslaved, or we're just as enslaved as anyone else.
Oh my God.
Period. It's the truth. So when you free yourself from that oppression, and now you're free, how do you go about catching up to even be able to compete with?
She's talking about herself.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is where she's talking about herself.
That's
she's
it.
saying, she's made all of Black History Month about Heather.
That's it. You
and
got it.
how did you got it? And
at
how
the
do you
same time.
recover?
Yeah, she's like poor whites, oppressed people,
poor whites are Blacks.
We're Black.
Yeah.
God damn it. God damn it.
Or work next to, or be a part of the same world as the people who have been evolving for hundreds of years while you were still a slave. How do you catch up, right? Hold on, you guys, I have to get my charger. So this is what I want to be to happen. This is, I think, an easy solution for helping people understand, because again, we've got, I saw this disturbing ass video. I just lost a piece of medication. I saw this disturbing ass video of this
Wait,
group
what
of
did she say?
I just lost a piece of medication.
That's what she said.
I think that's what she just said.
She literally said that.
Yeah.
That was weird. I'm sorry. I have to hear it again.
Mm-hmm.
I have to tap it back.
Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, there.
What I want to be to happen. This is, I think, an easy solution for helping people understand, because again, we've got, I saw this disturbing ass video. I just lost a piece of medication. I saw this disturbing ass video of this group of boys beating the fuck out of a little white girl, 8 or 9 years old, because supposedly she said a racial slur. I mean, it was terrible to watch. They were beating this little girl up. I mean, bad. Like 4 or 5 boys
you don't know that video.
beating her.
No.
So, do you think it's possible that she did say the racial slur? I do. I don't know her. I don't know her family, but I know if you grow up in a household where the adults in that household, the role models in that household, don't understand racism, don't understand Black history, they could very easily say a racial slur that a young child would use, maybe even on accident, without even knowing, the effects that it would have.
Is she talking about herself again?
Again, that would be on the parents. So what do we do for children who are living in households with ignorant parents who absolutely refuse to change their perspective or educate themselves? We incorporate Black education, Black history, and Black lessons into the curriculum. The first one and the most important one is systemic rape.
Is this like critical race theory, basically?
I think...
mean, she doesn't understand what it is, and she's trying to. I don't know. I
mean, so with a person like this, like, what does an influencer do? I don't know. I'm not one of them.
Sure.
But some influencers are tastemakers because they start trends and they do stuff and they're outrageous or they're fashionable, and so they do stuff and other people copy them. But a lot of people are just trying to jump on what's hot, the hashtag and stuff. And
Sure.
I think that she's. I mean, it's mean to say it. She's so out of touch that
Sure.
she probably saw an Instagram post somehow about race, about Black History Month, right? And so she's doing this, and but she's just off. She's just really wrong about it in a lot of different ways. But this is what she does. I mean, and rape culture, she's cancel rape culture. She doesn't even really understand what it means. That video, she doesn't get it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Racism and how it contributed to the situation with where we are today. It's pertinent. It is something that needs to be taught, needs to be expressed. What I would say if I was teaching a class is something like this. Maybe they're high school kids, right? We're talking to. And again, I don't have a lesson plan written. I'm speaking this off the top of my head.
No, she's not.
No,
So this is how it started.
Yeah, look, she's got her notes.
The legal system favors people with money, right? Is anyone arguing that? We all know that to be true. If you can afford a good lawyer, you're off, right? You could get away with murder, literal murder, right? How much money does a slave or someone newly released from slavery have to invest in a legal defense?
Okay, so when a Black person murders someone, they can't afford a good lawyer? Is that what she's saying? I mean...
And if you can afford a good lawyer, you will get away with murder.
Yeah. I mean, the easy way out of this is just don't murder.
Don't murder.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Nothing, right? So all of these slaves are released with no money, with nowhere to go,
Wow.
right? With no solutions.
This is her. She conflated emancipated slaves
Yeah.
with people with herself.
Yeah.
Who has been oppressed and kept down and doesn't have any money. And
Yeah.
then when they're
Can't
released,
afford a lawyer when she
that
kills
is-
somebody. Yeah.
That's what she's fucking doing. See,
Yeah.
she's not as dumb as she looks. That's the thing that kills me about her. It's like she's not. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Look, she's like, how do you expect them to do anything? Okay.
And then they're in
Self-absorbed.
prison
Yeah.
for finding a way to survive. We have to teach this to our children. Okay, so the family unit
What is Xavier
for
doing
most
right
people
now?
consists of a mom and a dad, regardless of sex.
Staring.
Those are the roles,
does
and
he
then the
always do?
children. Okay. What happened during this time was that while the rest of us were living in these family systems of stability, with
The rest of us thing is killing me.
Mm-hmm.
So she's talking about the family unit now.
Yeah.
households, newly released slaves either didn't have any family at all or created families and then fell prey to the criminal justice system. So if you think of a family of 4, right? And it's a black mom, a black dad, and some black children. And then black mom is working full-time. Black dad is working full-time. Black dad is targeted because he doesn't have enough money for a legal defense, and he's thrown in prison.
After he murdered
What happens to
someone.
black mom?
Right. Exactly.
What happens to her? What happens to black mom? Black mom has to now
I hate how she's saying black mom, black dad.
be a single income household, supporting all the children on her own. And that's not just support financially, that's support emotionally, mentally, financially.
She's making hand signals. So when it's emotional, she taps her heart, and then when it's mental, and then she makes the money sign, and then
Physically, that mom has to do the job of a 2-parent household on her own. Do you understand what that does to a household?
Fuck you.
She's talking about herself again. I
Yes,
think she's talking about the
she
stress of being a mom and trying to raise kids.
Which is real, man.
That's
like,
real,
totally.
but she's foisting it on a black family that doesn't have legal counsel. Sorry.
A family of 4.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
God, it's the imperiousness for me. It's the patronizing tone,
Oh,
right? Do you understand what that
incredible.
means? It's like, lean
Yeah,
on
yeah.
me in here, She's like, let me tell you the way life is.
You've never struggled.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at your own household now. Imagine one of the earners in the household is incarcerated. You are expected and pressured to spend a significant amount of money you probably do not have on this person's legal defense.
You might want to just go on a reality TV show if your partner's in prison.
Ooh, burn.
Called like Love After Lockup. That's an idea.
Yeah.
And then ultimately they're taken away. And now you are left with all of the pieces of that fucking broken mess to pick up while still being a good parent to your children. Needless to say, many women can't handle it, or men. Many are okay and they make it through, but many can't, right? So what happens when you can't offer the support your child needs? What happens when you can't offer...
You end up homeless in Chicago.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Exactly. And do we know, look, she's talking about finance again, so she's wiggling her fingers. Do we know, does she have an experience of like a spouse or a partner being in jail?
I think one of her husbands spent some time in, but I don't know if she was with them at the time. So
and part of what's frustrating about this too, or sad, I guess, is like she is trying to equate her experience with the experience of a black woman,
newly freed slaves.
Yeah, exactly.
With families.
Yeah, exactly. Like this imagined person who's just this broad stroke, like totally fucked up, and she's trying to like identify or something, but it's just it's
like,
it's
I
a
relate.
Karen thing. Yeah,
I
she's like,
understand.
I'm the same as a slave. Like it's just fucking wild.
It's crazy.
financial support your child needs? What happens when you can't offer the physical support your child needs? You're at work, mom's at work working 2 jobs now because dad's gone. So now you've got 3 children raising themselves.
3, there were 2. There were 2 before,
Yeah.
and now we've got 3. Okay.
If they're hungry, they go eat. There is no parental support, let alone love, or maybe there is as much as can be, but
Fuck you. She's saying there's no love in this household that she's made up?
Yeah.
not as much as the rest of us have
Oh my
opportunity
God.
to provide. You're born into wealth, right? You have money. Your family has money. I don't. I'm saying you do. If there's a problem legally,
That was literally the most offensive thing she said, and the most, like, she's so fucked in the head. Like,
Yeah.
that's so weird.
it's not going to affect you, who can just go into the bank and pay a lawyer, the same way it's going to affect me, who has no money at all.
Oh, yeah.
Do you
back
not
to
get
her.
that? And when you make that a matter of race, and you take all of these black families and make them fatherless black families, what are you doing to the race?
Oh my God.
How is that helping them catch up from the deficit slavery created?
Wow.
It's not. It's not. So no, we can't turn back the hands of time and erase slavery. We cannot. But we can prevent it from the future, and we can teach our children that maybe the person who you see in class who maybe is wearing dirty clothes or maybe smells a little bad or who knows what.
Like her.
Yeah. Yeah.
She smells a little bit. She's wearing dirty clothes.
Ugh.
Who knows what? Maybe that person shouldn't be called racial slurs. Maybe that person shouldn't be.
She's also saying,
Yeah.
maybe the black
Yeah,
kids
are dirty
and
smell. Oh,
smell
fucking
bad.
Jesus
I mean, oh my
Christ.
God.
picked on and made fun of.
God.
Maybe there's a much larger reason that person doesn't have or doesn't understand, and maybe by educating them, we can prevent school shootings. We can prevent.
Whoa.
We can prevent all of these.
All the school shooters are white. I mean,
Literally
like
all
all
of
of them. Yeah. Wow. And they have clean clothes for the most
Yeah,
part.
they smell great, Heather. What are you
Yeah.
going to do about that? My
They can
God.
afford assault rifles.
Jesus.
They order them on the internet. Wow.
Should we post this again? It's like, I mean,
don't
it's
know.
so
Yeah.
bad.
Violent situations that create further deficit and a further life of lack. By preventing a life of lack, we're offering a life of abundance.
Who's we?
I'm going to say that again. By preventing a life of lack, we're offering a life of abundance.
Who's
We have
offering
enough.
what to whom?
We all have enough,
Do we?
you know? So back to the lesson plan. If we teach these children what actually happened
Back to the lesson
systemically,
plan.
She said she didn't
that
have
people were incarcerated when they didn't deserve to be, that people were wrongly convicted just because they couldn't afford a legal defense, and that it mostly and mainly impacted poor Americans, black Americans, that it separated families, that it caused people who otherwise naturally have good values and morals and ethics and
Oh, God.
Sorry, there's a really good gem in here.
Yeah?
If you look at the video, watch, Xavier walks up, looks at her, and walks away.
No way.
or maybe
Really?
smells
Yeah,
a
you
little
can see the
bad, or
reflection in her
who
glasses.
knows
Oh,
what.
you're good.
Who knows what? Maybe that person shouldn't be called racial slurs. Maybe that person shouldn't be picked on and made fun of. Maybe there's a much larger reason that
Glued to
person
the
doesn't
glasses.
have
It's
or
just-
doesn't understand. And
Yeah.
maybe by educating them, we can prevent school shootings. We can prevent
Okay, now watch the
bullying.
sunglasses.
all right.
We can prevent all of these violent situations that create further deficit and a further life of lack.
God damn
By preventing a life of lack, we're
it. You're
offering
making
a
me
life
listen
of
to this
abundance.
part again. It's terrible.
Sorry.
I'm going to say that again. By preventing a life of lack, we're offering a life of abundance. We have enough. We all have enough,
Okay.
you know? So back to the lesson plan. If we teach these children what actually happened systemically,
Is that
Is there?
Xavier right there in the left
Yeah, I think, yeah.
lens?
that people were incarcerated
He's, like,
when they didn't
staring
deserve
at
to
her.
be, that
Is that
people were
right? Is that true?
Yeah, he's just hanging out. He's gonna walk away in a
wrongly
second.
convicted just because they couldn't afford a legal defense,
You're
and that
right.
it mostly and mainly impacted poor Americans, black Americans, that it separated families, that it caused people
He's like across
who
the table.
Yeah,
otherwise
he's right there.
naturally have
And
walking
he's
away.
like, nah, I'm good. I'm out.
I'm gonna go use the bathroom. I'm
good
gonna go take a
values and
bath in
morals
the
and ethics
bathroom.
and standards for life, to live outside of their normal reference for living, only to survive.
I just.
We can't incarcerate people for not dying.
What?
I don't know.
Why would we want to?
I'm.
So if we know that this took place historically, and it
Miss
affects more
Gillespie,
things,
Miss
than just
Gillespie, I have a
poverty. It
question.
affects a lot of things. Family units, queer, lesbian,
Wh-
gay,
wait, whoa.
bisexual, trans. All of these things. What? Right, social division.
Wait a minute.
Social divisions,
Xavier
exactly.
just gave her a line.
When
he
you
just
take
gave her a line.
all of these things. What?
The new slavery is rich and poor.
Right, social division.
The new
Social
slavery.
divisions, exactly. When you
He
take
said the new
a
slavery
family,
is
The new slavery is
born from something.
being born. Is that what he said? I think it might be what
Tap
he
it
said.
back one more time.
All right.
That's
that
what we're here
operates
for. Right?
with a mother in poverty. It affects a lot of things. Family units, queer, lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans. All of these things. What?
The new slavery is rich and poor.
Rich and the
Right,
poor.
social division. Social divisions,
He
exactly.
said,
When you take
Xavier said the new slavery is the rich and the poor.
Which fits them just fine. That narrative fits them
Yeah,
perfectly,
it fits
right?
them great. Yeah.
a family that operates with a mother and father and children and remove one of the parental units,
Yep.
the family is coming from a place of lack. They have to make up for the support that the father provided. So now, again, you've got all this weight on mom's shoulders. The kids are looking at mom. They love mom, and dad. But they're
Kansas.
feeling resentful and angry towards dad. They don't understand this is not dad's fault. They don't understand dad was just a fucking, scapegoat. They don't understand that. And they start despising their father. Wrongfully.
He's back there.
Their father probably loves them very much.
Yeah.
But that's not what they're being taught. Not taught by the words coming out of the mouth, taught by what they're seeing happening in the world. Do you understand?
No.
No.
At the end of the day,
Oh God, she's
anytime
this Heather. This is cult leader Heather.
Yeah.
You
I
know
mean,
what I mean?
she's got one follower.
She, but she's like, do you understand? Let me tell you, with her, and then she's like using these like.
This is how the world works.
Yeah, she's like, do you understand? Do you
It's
understand
like
what I'm
I got
saying?
really stoned and I was like, dude, do
Yeah.
you know it's just like rich and poor?
Yeah.
That's the new slavery.
Oh God, okay, Kanye. You made that joke before, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
there is such a phenomenal impact on our society as a whole as the one that has taken place, mass incarcerations against black men and women, but mostly men, huge demographics of people living below the poverty line, huge demographics of people living in tent cities. There's a problem. And
That's all true.
It is true.
Yeah.
It is true. But I have to say, I mean, I don't know everything. I got a lot to learn. I have never equated like a hard time in my life with slavery.
Yeah, or with being black and a criminal.
Yes. I mean,
I've
the fuck.
never thought to myself like, wow, if I was black, I would be, a criminal, and I wouldn't be able to afford a good lawyer.
Like that would be my identity. She's
so weird.
yeah, and yeah, okay.
problems, as I always say, are opportunities for solutions. So when we teach our children that black people and poor people didn't get to where they were because of the stereotypical scapegoat excuse, they're lazy. They're lazy. They don't want it bad enough. Okay, bitch, who fucking woke up this morning to $5 million in the bank because daddy left it to you? That's nice that you have that opinion.
Wow.
Fuck. I'm tired of those labels. Lazy, this, and then it's always a motherfucker who never had to work for shit.
Nobody said that.
Nobody said that.
Nobody
She's
said
tired
that,
of
Heather.
her being labeled lazy, probably.
I guess. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Or some middle class people just have that mindset. I've met a couple like that.
some middle class people.
Right.
I mean, maybe her family a little. I mean,
I'd be very curious about.
She's talking about herself a lot through this. So,
she is. We met Aunt Diane on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know much else. She doesn't talk about. Does she talk about her mom?
Not a lot. We know that she owns an export gym or runs an export gym.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
In
She's
Chicago,
talked about that.
and she's posted a few things about her dad, and she talks to him at least at some point.
Okay.
And
we know Xavier has a dad figure who's been giving them money and letting them stay. That's a whole
and he's like a lawyer in Chicago. Yeah.
Who is Sir enabling them, although maybe he stopped because they were on the street and like
that's a
who
tough
knows?
Position. How would you
Yeah,
not?
but
It's your
because-
kid.
because
you
it's-
know?
because-
I understand, but
Yeah, that's when I get upset. I'm like, do not give him any money until he loses this chick.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
But typically it's not that way, you know, and you and I both know that. It's typically not that way. If we can get this curriculum in grammar school, if we can identify the deficits that were created, whether intentional or not, by the problems with the criminal justice system specifically and the mass incarceration issue, if we can teach that, if we can work that into our curriculum, we can prevent that from taking place in the future. Until we find a way to be open and honest with our youth, with the generations that come after mine, after yours, after his, after hers, the problems will repeat themselves.
I mean, she should have opened with this argument because it's, a reasonable argument in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm, sure.
The whole dirty, stinky, criminal part.
Anyways, happy Black History Month. For
happy
Black
History
you
Month.
so
didn't
much.
know that February was Black History Month.
Just the whole black mom, black dad. It's just offensive. It's like she doesn't know. She doesn't know what she's talking about, and she doesn't care. She doesn't care. If she cared, she wouldn't have made this video.
Yeah.
Certainly not like that.
Yeah.
Take a fucking second. Read one article. You don't have to become Martin
one.
Luther King. Just educate yourself.
Wait, what did she say? You don't have to what?
You don't have to become Martin Luther
You don't have to
King.
become okay.
Have a meaningful conversation. There's a lot to talk about on that subject. I didn't write this out. Like I said, this is a spur of the moment. Boom, go live.
She's literally reading off a piece of paper. Yeah.
Have some conversation, keep the page going. But there's a lot more, to talk about with reference to homosexuality and, abuse in the prison system and lack of love, lack of sex, lack of money, lack of food. All of these things, they blend together. All of these things, they're causal to each other.
How is homosexuality
Don't
part?
know.
Oh, okay.
Do not know.
So again, when you have a man in prison for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, is it right to expect that man to never feel loved again? To never feel supported or wanted?
Is she going to homosexuality?
We're degrading and dehumanizing our population. And then we're sitting around feeling appalled when they lash out. Love wins every time. Every time.
Oh God.
All right. I love you guys. I hope everyone has a great day. Like I said, there's a lot more we can discuss with the subject. My DM is open if you want to talk about it. Right here, go to the GoPro Solo
Do you think
anybody
anybody DM'd
if you
her?
want to collab, if
sure
you want to
someone
discuss about
did.
things like this, it'll be this account right here, the Coco Chanel.
See, that seemed really like this one right here. That it seemed a little. She has not stopped for a breath. I just feel like she's
a little
on
hopped
something.
up. I've also noticed she's like.
She
quite a
did
few
do
times,
that, but I
but
don't,
it
she's
could
been going
be-
so long. I
yeah.
don't think it's
And contribute something. Let's continue.
Heather's telling us to contribute something. Sorry. I guess she's contributing this.
To move forward with life and our goals individually and collectively. Let's make
She's
use
reading
of this time that we're here. Let's have fun.
She's
Let's live
reading
in
it.
abundance. Let's prosper.
You can tell.
Yeah.
One of us winning doesn't mean anyone needs to lose.
Oh my God.
We can all win.
Just leaving it right there, just dropping the mic right there.
Wow.
I mean, again, like the flat earthers are just, at their very core, they're curious, right? She desires to connect. She wants to connect, right? And I understand. But she will not do the work. And she'll lie. She's going to tell us it's off the cuff, but she'll wear her sunglasses to hide her eyes so she can look at her notes. She'll say that she's been thinking about this, that she's been, whatever. She read one Instagram post, not an article, an Instagram post. And then she started talking to Xavier, who has thoughts about it. I want to know more about him. But that was it. I mean, there you go. That's our take on that. Our hot take. It's hard to watch. I don't know.
She's fucking terrible.
She's terrible.
I mean,
thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks.
Be well.